Here's what I want everyone to do who's watching. I need you guys to comment with a Christmas movie that has business value or your favorite Christmas movie. What's the best Christmas movie? Which it should be clearly Christmas Vacation, but maybe it's Scrooged.
What we'll try to do is dissect them and go, how can we see business value from them? Because I like to try to just find random nuggets of value.
All right, we are live. Welcome to Next In. Shane Chown, Taylor Duncan, we're your co-hosts. We are going live today because, well, Shane saw a squirrel and he had to run. So
I had too many blooms today. I had too many blooms today, too many energy drinks, and I just needed to get out and have a conversation with somebody today, I guess. This is my excuse to talk, and in that case, talk to everybody that's here today.
Because you need the excuse. All right, so what we were going to talk about today, yesterday we had an awesome guest on our podcast, which you guys will see once edited and launched and everything else. We had a really fun discussion, though, talking about Christmas Vacation and the movie. Obviously, we're in the recruiting biz, and you're like, what? The Christmas Vacation? Well, we were talking about more specifically the Christmas bonuses paid out in it, and we had someone who does a lot of internal communications and PR and company culture, and so it's actually a fun case study of using a Christmas movie, which, by the way, Christmas Vacation is the best Christmas movie. That's a different argument, different day.
My brother would throw arms and say Harry Potter is all of them.
Okay. So, well, your brother is an idiot. So yesterday you were very nice to your family. Today I am very mean to them. So we wanted to talk about what is a great Christmas movie case study in HR talent acquisition. And there's a lot of them. We are going to go through Elf.
We wanted to pick Elf, and it was like, how is Elf? How can we use that? I always try to figure out, like, what kind of value can I get from everything? So selfishly, I couldn't just sit down and watch Elf and be like, it's just a great movie. And Will Ferrell is just it's awesome. And it validates my need to put maple syrup on everything. And I'm not like the only weird person that does that. And now I have like a movie that I get a point back to. So there's also a little bit of
this was your idea. Elf was your idea. And
yeah, I'm really just trying to convince everybody maple syrup on everything is an acceptable thing. That's really why we're talking about this. But then we want to bring it back to business value.
Right? All right, so business value, because I remember vaguely the movie because it's playing in the background 1 month a year, every year in my house. But I have sat down and watched it, but I forget quite a bit. All I remember is Will Ferrell dancing like a Russian guy on the boardroom table.
Yeah, after he gets Liddy Titty in the laundromat, and he's so his dad's like so annoyed that he showed up in his life, right? Like
I asked you, I go, hey, so what's a great Christmas movie? Yesterday we had so much fun talking about Christmas Vacation. Why is Elf? Where do you get business value out of Elf outside of Will Ferrell's funny?
Well, what do you remember from Elf?
I remember Will Ferrell is an elf, and he's really, really big, which didn't make a lot of sense. And his dad, or his like long lost relationship with his dad, but his dad is some business executive in New York. I think it's a publishing house, or is that right? And he starts in the mailroom. Yep. Will Ferrell starts in the mailroom, right?
Sort of. So we're getting close. We're getting close. It's okay. It's the gray hair and the dementia kicking in, but we'll forgive you for that for now. So in the story, it starts off with Will Ferrell being adopted, goes home with Santa, gets raised by elves, and eventually he hears other elves speak over, saying like, "How doesn't he know that he's adopted? He's not really an elf." And then so all of a sudden, it's like Will Ferrell's like, "Oh no! Like I guess I'm not an actual elf. I have human descent and I have human parents." Like somehow that was difficult to understand. Right? Okay. So self-awareness, step one. Maybe people should check themselves. Are you an elf or are you a human? I don't know. You could take that for what it is.
Definitely not an elf.
But in it, I think one of the really cool things as it progresses is Will Ferrell shows up to meet his dad, and that's he like is so happy and like is so persistent on being like,
That's right. He loves his dad, but his dad doesn't exactly love him.
I love you, Dad. I love you, Dad. I love you, Dad. Like, yeah, he's like so excited about meeting his dad, and his dad just thinks that he's like the bane of the existence because his son shows up and in the middle of a down season, right? So the father works at this publishing house, and he's trying to figure out how to pitch a new book, a new series, a new idea. And him and his writers are just really struggling at coming up with like children's books, because that's what they do. So he kind of has that Ebenezer Scrooge kind of like persona where he's just like no good, doesn't really like, he's not really happy, and he's trying to find a quick fix. And he's so focused and he's so fixated on this idea of like, I just need a quick fix, that him and his writers end up bringing in this specialist. They bring in this specialist who, the Game of Thrones character, the midget. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But he's like a badass, right?
Yeah. Well, they get into a fight, right? Like, so there's like a scene where they get into the fight with the midget. I forget.
It totally has to do with HR. Is it midget or is it little person?
I don't know. HR identifies with me, but I don't identify with HR all the time. That's why we're in recruiting. So we get to
can't edit this out. This is live.
Anyways, so they again, they're trying to go after these quick fixes, and so they call in this specialist. They try to produce this thing, and all while that's happening, Christmas is preparing to happen. And the entire time he's trying to tell everyone that he's an elf, that he knows Santa Claus, and nobody believes him, and everybody thinks that he's just a total basket case, total Looney Tune character. And the entire time, it's like really interesting to see that there's this persistent character that is constantly trying to get attention, constantly showing affection, constantly throwing positive and like positivity into the world. And the father is just like, nope. I'm moving away from it. I don't want it. And is just battling this thing. And so the father's trying to come up with a story the entire time. Like the entire time he's trying to come up with a kid's story. And what I think is awesome is by the end of the film, it took the father literally seeing Santa Claus in a sleigh flying in the air for him to finally wake up and to realize that what was in front of him was the golden nugget and the golden ticket that he needed the entire time, that Will Ferrell's character was the exact story that they needed. So at the end of the film, the Will Ferrell's character, Elf, ends up becoming the kid's story that they ultimately end up writing. And so what I thought was like really unique about that, and I'm curious how often this happens, because we see it all the time, where in our businesses, we're so fixated on the persistent threat, the persistent pain, the persistent issue, that there are times where we might have team members, we might have products, we might have services, we might have opportunities where it might be Elf, where we're like, it's dancing and it's jolly and it's interrupting my day and it's like constantly trying to get attention. But it's just like, no, because like the threat, the thing that's on fire is where my eyes are at. And I find it to be fascinating that by the end of the film, Elf ends up being the solution to the father's problem, which is, I don't know what story I'm going to write. I don't know what idea I'm going to write. And the answer was in front of him the entire time.
Oh, what a wonderful takeaway. I'm just picturing, again, I think if you go back to what we talked about with Nina, is this idea of how the dad was as a boss, arguably boss, manager, or just executive or whatever, and how he reacts under times of stress and pressure, and recognizing that when he acted the way he did, to your point, sometimes he missed some of the really good stuff that was happening, missed his family, right? Like he obviously was.
Yep. He was about to skip out on some of the time he would have had with his son.
Ooh,
this means his son that he raised.
This means next time we go live, are we going to talk about Bill Murray and Scrooged?
Oh, maybe.
We could do that too.
I would rather Ghost of Girlfriend's Past and Matthew
So
McConaughey,
no. To all the listeners, you tried pulling that crap earlier, pulling in some garbage movie and being like, we should talk about Ghost of Christmas Past. And I'm like, no, we're not doing a really bad rom-com.
He had to remind me, we're recruiting, not HR. Don't talk about it.
Yeah, right.
But no, I do think that like Elf though is like really cool, where it's like, I would like to go, like, how many times do you think we faced that, where it was like, gosh, I mean, one of our best clients was one that like started poking at us, being like, I love you. And then we were like, yeah, but that's not what we do. We don't do that. And then all of a sudden we signed them and we made 250 placements with them. right? It's kind of crazy to think about that. The healthcare client that we ended up working with was kind of the elf in our situation, where it was like, no, we're trying to solve this fact that we predominantly do technology recruiting, we do predominantly video game recruiting and executive search. Like, we would never do this high volume healthcare stuff. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, no. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I guess we could do some of your sales roles. I guess we could do some of your customer service roles. And, in the last 2 years, we've made almost 600 placements with them. So that was the elf of our story. And it's like, how many times are people missing out on small opportunities that can become massive opportunities because they're blinded by the thing that's in fire in front of them?
All right. So here's what I want everyone to do who's watching. I need you guys to comment with a Christmas movie that has business value, or your favorite Christmas movie. What's the best Christmas movie? Which it should be clearly Christmas Vacation, but maybe it's Scrooged, maybe it's Ghosts of Christmas Past, in which case,
Girlfriend's Past,
or Girlfriend Past, which, by the way, I will be judging you if you put that in the comments. What are some other really good ones?
I really like Four Christmases a lot, but that's because I like anything with Vince Vaughn in it.
Vince Vaughn, Chicago native, just saying.
Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds just did that other variant of Scrooge, which was pretty good, but I'm blanking on the name of it. If somebody could type that
Bill
down.
Murray Scrooge is great.
I don't remember what that one's called.
And then there's obviously your classics, right? It's a Wonderful Life, which I probably have seen.
Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
So it is a Christmas movie.
So for all of the people that want to say that it is, it's not.
Enough people have said it, therefore it is. So it is a Christmas movie. And somehow you think Harry Potter is, but Die Hard isn't.
I'm not going to go.
All right.
I'm not going to go down.
All right. So that's not what the point of today was.
We know that we could disagree.
Thank you for joining us on our live. We'll keep it short and not waste everyone's day. But hopefully this brightened your day a little bit. Again, let's send us some ideas of other great Christmas movies or holiday movies.
And what we'll try to do is dissect them and go, how can we see business value from them? Because I like to try to just find random nuggets of value. So it's like, can I spin something like Elf into a case study where it's like, are you missing the golden ticket to everything that you should be doing? And we'll start dissecting them and go like, this is how you can get business value out of them. And then you can tell your boss, while you're watching Christmas movies this season, but I'm doing it for the greater good of building a better company.
There you go. All right. Shane knows how to waste time and lie better than anyone. All right. Thank you all for joining us. Till next time. Goodbye.